On March 4th, 1972, a chilling hush blanketed the forest near Chapin, Saginaw County, Michigan. Brothers Wayne and Bill Summers, exploring forgotten logging trail, uncovered a scene that shattered their innocence. A young woman's body, her crimson scarf stained, lying in the tainted serenity of Michigan's wilderness. When Saginaw County deputies arrived, the horror was undeniable. Hopes that Dawn Lee Swan Magyar had simply wandered off or been kidnapped faded with the grim reality. She'd been shot 3 times with a .22 caliber pistol, twice in the head, once in the chest, her torn clothes and bruised arms evidence of a fierce struggle. A vibrant wife and mother just weeks prior, she'd been brutally silenced. The theory of a random vanishing crumbled. A calculated killer had struck, leaving a near-perfect crime scene with scant clues. For nearly 3 decades, Dawn's murder haunted Michigan, a life snuffed out, leaving her husband, mother, and son grasping for elusive answers. Until now, hit subscribe and like to keep these stories alive. Your support fuels a fight to uncover forgotten truths and ensures you won't miss what's next. Dawn's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was a spark that exposed a predator's hidden violence. In 2002, DNA breakthroughs unmasked a suspect. Not a drifter or stranger, but a man with a dark past, a confirmed presence in the area, and a history of suspicion in similar crimes, living among Michiganders, his secret buried deep. This case showcases a relentless fight of family, detectives who never let the case fade, and forensic advances giving voice to the silenced. Chesaning's community was forever changed. Fear swept through like a Lake Huron gale. Neighbors suspecting neighbors, the town's underbelly exposed. When the truth emerged after 30 years, the cracks widened. Most chilling, the suspect, with a sinister history, evaded justice for decades, raising a family, hiding behind normalcy. Where are you watching from? Drop your location below. I'm amazed how these stories connect us globally. Today, we'll unravel January and March 1972, trace the agonizing search, and reveal the breakthrough that brought twisted justice to Dawn Lee Swan Magyar, a tale of loss, deception, persistence, and justice delayed but not denied. In January 1972, Chesaning, Michigan, was a classic Midwestern hamlet where farm life met tight-knit families. Residents cherished Sunday church bells, open doors, and a shared trust. On Elm Street, Dawn Lee Swan Magyar lived with her husband, Donald, called Don, and their 1-year-old son, Peter, in a cozy home filled with newlywed joy. At 20, Dawn was radiant, her laugh infectious, always hunting for unique gifts at local shops. As a young mother, she juggled parenting with dreams of a bright future. On January 27, 1972, a frosty Michigan morning, Dawn kissed Peter goodbye, left with Don, and borrowed a neighbor's silver 1971 Chevy Vega to drive 20 minutes to Owosso's bustling Plaza Mall. She planned to buy household items and a gift for her mother Eleanor's upcoming birthday. The route was routine, the sky a dull winter gray. Security was lax in 1970s malls, but the plaza hummed with shoppers. Dawn browsed stores, picking up goods and eyeing displays. Around 2:30 p.m., she met friend Janice Simpson near Sears entrance. Hit subscribe and like. Your support keeps these stories alive, ensuring the algorithm doesn't bury them. It was a fleeting, normal moment, but the last confirmed sighting of Dawn. As dusk fell, casting shadows over snow-covered fields, Dawn grew uneasy. Dawn should have been home. Peter's cheerful coos turned to cries, unsettling Dawn. He paced the porch, scanning the road for the Vega. The home's warmth faded into eerie silence, broken by Peter's wails. Dinner went unprepared. Calls to neighbor Mildred Albright confirmed Dawn hadn't returned the car. By 9 p.m., Don's dread peaked. He dialed the Chesaning police, voice trembling. "My wife's missing." Within 20 minutes, officers Jedediah Clark and Roscoe Hammond arrived, notebooks ready, asking cold questions. Dawn's schedule, attire, crimson scarf, jeans, worn boots, any marital or financial issues. Dawn adamant snapped, "She'd never leave us." Eleanor, pale, nodded, glancing at Peter's quiet room. Neighbors gathered, Marjorie Peterson with a casserole, Harold Jenkins with flashlight, whispers spreading. Is Dawn really gone? The house, once joyful, buzzed with chaos, The phone ringing with worried calls from Dawn's brothers, Max and Larry Swan and Janice. Dawn's repeated answer, "We don't know yet." Eleanor clutched Dawn's photo, the world turning alien, Peter asleep, unaware of the storm. By January 28, 1972, fear gripped Owosso and Chesaning. Diners and gas stations buzzed with anxious talk. Dawn and Eleanor faced a dawnless morning, Peter's cries piercing the silence. Police returned with maps, Dawn pointing out Dawn's haunts, Eleanor recalling her mall habits. An 8 a.m. meeting at Owosso PD launched a search team, police, sheriff's deputies, and volunteers. Flyers with Dawn's photo and missing in bold spread across stores, churches, and gas stations. Searchers combed Owosso's routes, alleys, and fields, K-9 units losing her scent at the mall. Dawn watched, hope fading. By afternoon, a team led by Officer Charles Finch found a Vega in a secluded lot behind Montgomery Ward, dusted with snow. Dawn and Eleanor, called to the scene, collapsed seeing it, Eleanor sobbing, Dawn's legs buckling. Inside, Dawn's packages sat on the passenger seat, her purse on the dashboard, keys scattered on the floor, hinting at a struggle. No theft, no damage, just silence. Where are you watching from? Comment below. These stories unite us across miles. The Vega was towed to the Shiawassee County Sheriff's Department, treated as a crime scene. Forensic techs, using 1,972 tools, magnifiers, tweezers, flashlights, photographed every angle. Detective Arthur Bennett spotted a faint stain on the passenger floor mat, swabbed under UV light, possibly blood. A coarse dark hair, unlike Dawn's, was found in the driver's seat crevice. Both were sealed, but 1970s forensics, limited to blood typing and basic hair comparison, offered no answers. DNA testing was years away. Reporters swarmed, the Owosso Argus press blaring. Missing mother's car found, no trace of Dawn Magyar. TV showed the tarp-covered Vega, ticker reading. Car found, woman missing. Dawn and Eleanor, watching with Peter, felt hope shatter. Eleanor sobbed, "If the car is there, where's Dawn?" The report noted the stain, hair, and untouched belongings, suggesting Dawn stepped out briefly, but never returned. Proof something terrible happened. On January 29th, the Argus press headline screamed, "Still no Dawn Magyar." Detectives Barnes and Brenda Farrell built a timeline. Dawn left the plaza at 2:40 p.m., per Janice and clerk Silas Croft, who saw her crimson scarf. Witness Phyllis Harding saw Dawn in the lot, talking to a tall man in a faded denim jacket, receding brown hair near a dark green Dodge pickup. Janitor Ronald Davies noted the truck parked oddly far from the entrance. Details were vague, no face, no plate, but consistent. Man, 40s, truck. Barnes frowned. It was something, but not enough. Dawn, hearing this, wept, picturing Dawn's smile, insisting. Someone took her. Eleanor, holding Peter, felt the sadness deepen. Rumor spread. Sightings of the truck, the man, but tips led nowhere. Radio broadcast described the truck and man, yet the puzzle remained incomplete. Weeks dragged into March. Hope dimming. Peter looked at the door, babbling "Mama," breaking Eleanor's heart. Flyers faded. Headlines shrank. On March 4th, 1972, Wayne and Bill Summers, aged 10 and 12, found a body in Chapin's Woods near a logging path, hidden by brush. Deputies, led by Sheriff Vernon Hayes and Detective Alvin Greer, confirmed it was Dawn. Crimson scarf, jeans, boots, wedding ring. The autopsy revealed rape and .322 caliber shots, signs of the fight. Dawn and Eleanor collapsed at the news. Peter's world, unknowingly shattered. The investigation surged, now a murder case led by Michigan State Police's Barnes and Steve Harshberger. They canvassed gun owners. Robert Shaw's .22 was tested, ruled out. The Argus press blared. Dawn Magyar's body found. Murder hunt begins. Grief and fear gripped Chesaning. Hundreds attended Dawn's funeral at St. Christopher Parish, Father Michael O'Connell praising her spirit. Dawn held Peter, whispering, "She's gone." Months passed, leads froze. Detectives chased truck sightings, cataloged the hair, stain, and bullets, but nothing fit. By late 1972, the case stalled, stored in a box labeled Magyar, Dawn Lee Swan murder, January 1972. For Dawn, Eleanor, and Peter, The pain endured. Vigils marked January 27th and March 4th. Neighbors like Mildred and Marjorie joining. Peter grew up with photos, not memories, facing cruel school taunts. Dawn withdrew. Eleanor, aged, Peter sketched alone, tracing Dawn's face, wondering. By 1977, the case was a local legend, a warning of unseen evil. The community fractured. Some blamed the drifter, others lost trust. The Argus press ran occasional updates, but hope waned. In the 1990s, DNA technology sparked hope. Michigan State Police's Randy O'Callaghan and Detective Harshberger, haunted by 1972, reopened Dawn's case in 1996. Preserved evidence, seminal fluid, hair stain, was tested with new DNA profiling. Suspects like Shaw were cleared. The DNA was unique, unmatched in databases. Harshberger and Detective Mark Pendergrass reviewed old leads, landing on Gerald Leroy Wingart. His file chilled, a 1960 rape conviction, paroled in 1967, in Owosso in 1972, and questioned in a 1980 Eaton Rapids murder, dismissed on technicalities. He fit, violent, local, suspicious. By 2002, Wingart, 61, lived quietly in Center Line, working at Chrysler, a polite neighbor to Richard and Sandra Ellis. Surveillance watched him work, groceries, park trips. On March 5, 2002, Detective Clara Monroe grabbed his discarded cigarette butt. 2 days later, O'Callaghan confirmed 100% match to the crime scene DNA. Hit subscribe. Cold cases need your support to stay alive. On March 7, 2002, police stormed Wingart home at dawn, cuffing him as neighbors gaped. "I didn't do it," he yelled, but cameras caught his ashen face. Prosecutor Dwayne Dennis announced first-degree murder charges, rape and kidnapping charges barred by 1972 statutes. Dawn, Eleanor, and Peter, now 31, watched, emotions raw. Eleanor whispered, "They found him." Peter said, "Mom's not forgotten." Headlines roared. Arrest in 1972 Dawn Magyar case. Chesaning buzz. Candles lit outside the Magyar home. Wingart's denials and interrogation crumbled against DNA. Seminal fluid, cigarette match. His Owosso presence, violent past. His wife's hidden journals, found in 2002, revealed his absence at night, her fear silencing her. On April 20th, 2002, Wingart was indicted. Dennis detailed the DNA, bullets, and Wingart's history. Dawn, Eleanor, and Peter sat, tears falling as justice took shape. The Detroit Free Press screamed. Wingart charged in 1972 murder. The November 2002 trial packed Shiawassee County Court. Dennis rebuilt January 27, 1972, with DNA, witnesses, and Wingart's past. The defense questioned evidence age, but DNA was ironclad. Peter's statement, "I lived 30 years without Mom, her killer caught," moved jurors. After 8 hours, the verdict, guilty. Judge sentenced Wingart to life without parole. Dawn whispered, "Justice speaks." Eleanor sobbed, "Dawn's a peace." Peter vowed to fight for cold cases. Wingart died in prison in 2023, silent. Chesaning learned vigilance, starting a citizen's watch. Dawn's case, a national model, proves technology and persistence conquer time. Subscribe, hit the bell, share. What cold case needs justice? Every family deserves closure.